ring right there on the air, right? And you and I said a few minutes ago, we're like, man, how come we haven't talked to Chino? What's
Is he
the
in town
deal?
yet? Where's he at?
And then look who's on the phone now.
How does that happen?
What's going on, buddy?
Hey, just waking up.
Man, I thought that's really cool that you would that you'd call us this morning.
You know what we like to? No handler. We just call straight up.
I had no idea. We talked to Tom Green earlier this morning, and we had to talk to like 5 people before we could talk to Tom Green.
Tom Green.
I was like, wow. Tom Green? I'm like, I got Corey Taylor's cell phone number over here, and I can't get... Really? Tom Green has 9 people before we can talk to him? All right, so what's the deal? How come you're stealing so many singing gigs from other singers out there? There's a lot of out-of-work singers, and you're in like 9 bands now, right?
Took our dub.
Chino took my derb.
Oh, man, it's too much fun.
Yeah?
I'm addicted. No, I mean, I'm just having fun with my friends. You know, I got a lot of friends who are musicians and play great music, and, you know, anytime they ask me, you know, to be a part of something that they're doing, and if I can make the time to do it, then it's good. And this has been great. This has been a great thing. The guys that I'm playing with have been long friends even before, you know, any musical stuff. So yeah, it's just a good thing. And, you know, honestly, we haven't really been doing it for that long. I mean, we have 2 more shows, and I think in total since the record came out about a year ago, it'll be like maybe 10 shows that we've played. You know, so it's sort of a boutique kind of thing. You know.
Well, you've spent a lot of time right here in the Coastal Bend. We just figured you had a piece of ass here.
Oh, I mean,
it's not the beach.
It can't be our clean brown water. I said, Chino must have met a hot girl in South Texas, and he's been coming back every 3 weeks with different bands.
No, you know what? It's been really. Texas has always been great. I mean, corporates for you know. I mean, I've been there probably. I want to say I was just there with Deftones, and then before that,
Crosses.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and Deftones before that. I mean, Corpus has always been super great for us, and like I said, this thing's sort of a boutique thing, and as opposed to just like we're going to do it and do very few shows.
Yeah.
Instead of going to to New York and to all these big cities where where it's more of a thing like we're going there and trying to sell ourselves to the masses. I said I'd rather just play to the people that I know would appreciate it and probably want to see it more than anybody. So
that's cool.
You know, Texas is one of those places, you know, in general, so it's good.
You know what it really feels like, and I just hearing you talking about these different bands, like you said, it's a boutique thing. You do it with some friends. It really shows a lot as you as a person and as an artist that like, oh yeah, I'll be in that band too. Because I think other artists or other people in different bands, if they're the front man, they're like, no man, this is my band right here. I'm only gonna do this. I would never sing in your band. And it kind of seems like, yeah, I'll do that. I can kind of change my style a little bit. Is that what you like about it? The different kind of music you get to play besides the Deftones stuff?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's always fun to work with different people. You know, I don't take every gig that's offered to me, but you know, certain.
Because I got a band, Chino. I got a band you can play in.
It'll be Chino and Gino.
Yeah, we can make it work.
Hey, that kind of has a ring to it.
There you go.
Demo.
Hey, we've got a buddy here that's like a huge fan of yours, Big Ron Perez. He's an amazing tattoo artist. So I hooked him up with a pair of tickets for tonight's show, and I know you're doing like limited meet and greet stuff. So we're trying to get him back there on a list and whatnot. People are just absolutely foam at the mouth trying to meet you at some of these shows and whatnot. Do you ever get to go anywhere where you just get to kick back and be a normal dude and nobody knows exactly who you are? I mean, even out of the country, they know who you are.
You know, actually, I live in a small little town in Oregon.
Yeah.
I moved there probably a little over a year ago, and I love it. And people there, I mean, some people, you know, recognize me and know me, whatever, but it's really mellow, and I think it's a good contrast to being out here and you know, just being on the road all the time and stuff like that. But I mean, the only thing that is like crazy beat today is that every single person has a cell phone with a camera on it, and selfies they're the new. I don't know. It's like it's expected that I'm supposed to take a picture with everybody, as opposed to like you know, back in, I guess, you know, 10 years ago, where people would say, hey, nice to meet you, shake your hand. I'd almost rather sit there and have a conversation with people and, you know, them ask me questions about this or that, whatever, than just like have to sit there like and basically with a queue of people like trying to take a selfie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to really talk to you. I just want to take this and post it to my Facebook so people can
and
see
then,
it.
And some days I'm ugly. I don't like, I don't want to take. And it's like I hate taking pictures for that. For that reason alone. So, but shoot, if I'm complaining about that, it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, don't be too sad that everybody wants to be with you. I mean, that's wonderful. I'll tell you what, I understand what you're talking about because I've been to so many concerts over the years where you ask the guy to take a picture and he just looks at you like, oh, you turd. And like you said, because sometimes you guys aren't having the greatest day. You don't want to have to fake a smile. And then the girl goes, oh my God, it came out blurry. Can we take it again 7 times? Let my friend. Yeah.
Trust you, that happens. Now, and then I actually get it's funny because someone got mad at me the other day because I didn't smile, whatever. And
okay. Yeah.
And I really don't smile. I don't like my teeth so much. So my smiles are very kind of a smirk, and sometimes that can come off wrong. So.
Yeah. Well, you're the rock star. You can do whatever you want. It's like take the picture with him. Now, okay, I thought when you were talking about cell phones right here, I really thought you were going in the direction of this. And whenever I see these commercials for even cell phone commercials, shows people at the concert and whatnot. And what bothers me about going to shows nowadays is the disassociation with the moment that's happening. Yes. If you can hold your camera up and stare at your little screen while you're on a roller coaster, or you can put the damn thing down and actually experience that moment. And it sucks that every time that something cool happens, all I see are phones in the air and everybody videotaping video they're never going to share or never going to watch. It's like, take your 2-second video. If you're like us, we'll go to somewhere like the Three Doors Down show, and we taped a 1-minute bit and put it on our YouTube page here. But that's for the radio station. But I have never sat down and watched somebody else's footage from a concert and thought, wow, that's so badass. I feel like I'm there. Do you feel that way? Like they're really cheating themselves out of seeing what's happening on stage because they're holding their phone the whole time.
Yeah, I think we're lucky enough I grew up in a time, at least me. I don't know how old you are, but there was no kind of cell phone at all when I was a kid first going to shows, and there was something about just being in that moment. And then when you leave. What you leave with is that memory in your head. As long as you remember that memory, you remember it that way. So you have that. It's. I guess you're relying more on your memory and just having that. As being something special to you that you'll always have. And, I have memories since I was a kid going to my first concerts, whatever, and that's what I have. That's what I'm left with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's sort of I think it's almost stronger. It's like you can kind of smell it and feel it, you know what I mean, when you think about it. And then like you said, you look at the footage a lot of times of something you do, and it's like, it looks crappy, and it's like, who's really going to watch it? Once in a while, you'll see posts. A lot of people use it for social media and stuff like that, just to kind of prove that they were there or how close they were, this or that, whatever. But, I don't know. I caught myself the other day. I went to a baseball game, went to a Dodger game, had really good seats, sitting there watching the game, and it was maybe the 7th inning. I go, wow, I haven't taken a picture yet. And I was like, okay, so I pulled up my camera, I took one picture, and I put my phone back in my pocket. And I thought to myself, I was like, wow, I could probably sit here and just the whole time and just document this whatever way I could just, like I said earlier, just enjoy the moment, you know what I mean? And which I did.
You sort of you end up removing yourself from that experience if you're sitting there constantly taping and constantly archiving footage that nobody cares about. I've talked about this before on the air, and I've never talked with you about it. We've met you 3 or 4 times. We've had you here at the radio station. We met you at the Deftones show and took all kinds of pictures. You guys are more than nice when we meet you backstage, and great. And honestly, so really great guy to interview. You have no idea what our job a lot of times is like extracting teeth through a phone. Sometimes when you talk to some of these guys, you're an easy guy to talk to. I have to add, and with that in mind, I have to tell you, when I hear you sing and I see you, I go, that doesn't sound, and if you ever have people, you don't sound like I would expect you to sound. You know what I mean? How you've place a voice and you go, that guy, okay, he's going to sound like this. I hear you sing and I go, where in the hell is that coming from? Has anybody ever talked to you about that? Or
Kind of. I mean, it happens like like it's like with my like the kids from I'm sorry, the parents from my kids' school and stuff like that, or like whatever. Like the other day, one of the parents came out and saw one of them, when I was playing the crosses a couple weeks ago, and was like, like knowing me, just from being, my daughter's dad, or whatever, and whatever. I was just like, oh, like wow, we did not expect that at all. You know what I mean? And I guess I am a little quieter in person, so I don't, maybe people wouldn't think that, I'm this madman that runs around screaming my head off. But
yeah, it'd be really weird if you like talking to the teacher, like, I saw his grades.
I saw he got a B.
That'd be really weird to talk like that.
No, what I'm just saying, it's not like when you meet you though, and you're talking to the Deftones, you're going, oh cool, and then I go back and I watch some of the videos or I see some of the footage or I go to a show, and I'm just saying you have such a range that I think a lot of people, including myself, I didn't expect the honestly I don't want to say beautiful. But I'm just saying you have such a beautiful voice and such a beautiful range and whatnot. I'm not saying that I look at you and I go, I judgmental. Oh yeah, that guy sounds like he'd just be metal. Yeah. But it's a voice that we don't hear anywhere but from this band. And so it's weird when I look at you and I go, I'm hearing things that I don't. How's that coming out of that guy? And it's amazing. And I mean, obviously that's why people are so in love with your bands. I mean, that's great. What can we expect tonight at the show? Those of us who aren't familiar with this style or this music.
Well, it's it's a pretty kind of I'd say like a sort of cinematic sound. I mean, there's a lot of peaks and valleys. It's very beautiful at times, sort of like how you described my voice. It's very beautiful at times and very burly at other times. And so there's a lot of dynamics in it. It's kind of a fun thing. It's not a huge departure from what I do with Deftones. I feel like Deftones have sort of sit in that in that area of burst of energy and quiet, beautiful sound. So it's somewhere in there, but it's just different dudes. And the record that we made, or actually I should say they made an instrumental record, and they kind of handed it to me and said, hey, would you mind putting some vocals on it? So it was sort of like, and I'm not really used to that, so it was like a challenge for me to kind of get to because with Deftones, I mean, I write the music with those guys from the beginning of it. So it was kind of a challenge to have some pre-consistent music and then see where my voice fits in it. You know what I mean? So it was a little different the way that it was made, and then live, I play guitar also live.
Wow.
Sing, and so the live, what we're doing live now is actually even different from the record. It's a lot more dynamic, I think, and a lot more heavy. So it's a pretty good thing, man. It's fun. It's you can kind of trip out to it. It kind of goes on these little, little freeform jamming going on, along with some pretty cool songs. So it's an interesting show. It's kind of crazy because there's actually only 7 songs in the set list, but it's an over an hour show.
Yeah.
So if that's any kind of like, there's a lot of sort of just like, cruising around, and it's a good thing.
It's funny how you describe it as, so these friends, they did this instrumental thing, and then they asked me, I would be, you should do a Cocksick, man, wherever you go. They asked me, Chino from the Deftones, I'm with the Beatles. It's almost like they asked Michael Bay to come fix their DVD player. It's like, let me call Bill Gates and have him come over here and install a new Windows.
He's on it.
You know what I mean? It's like, come on, that's really funny. The casual nature of it. I went and asked this guy, hey, can you throw some vocals on this thing? Hey, Michael Bay, this CD keeps skipping in my DVD player. That's great, man. Well, hey, we're definitely looking forward to seeing you guys tonight out at Brewster Street Ice House, and I really do appreciate the impromptu phone call. And I know our buddy Big Ron Perez over at GNS Tattoo, he's excited about it. So if any of your guys need a tattoo while they're in town, I'm telling you, this guy is amazeballs. He does a great job.
Right on, yeah. We'll bring him back and say hi, man.
There you go, man. Hey, well, thanks for the call, and we look forward to seeing you tonight
Sounds good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul McCartney from the Beatles.
Thank you.
There you go. Chino from the Deftones. Very cool. Palms
Thanks,
tonight. Very good, man. Hey, take care. Have a great day.
You too.
We'll
Thanks.
see you, brother.
All right.
That's great, man. 2 guys in the morning on
pretty
C101.
cool.
When does that happen? Where
I don't know.
Chino from the Deftones just calls you.
Yeah, with no handler. I still like this.
Just called out of the blue.
Oh,
man.
and by the way, I didn't want to tell him
It's the
on
best
the phone,
ever.
but you know who he sounds like, and I kept picturing his face in my head? Corey Feldman. He sounds exactly like Corey Feldman.
And
I kept picturing
in the interview.
Yes. No, just his normal
When
voice.
did you interview Corey Feldman?
He sounds like him. I didn't want to tell him. I thought it might be offensive.
All right, we're going to play some Palms or Deftones or one of the other 4 bands or Dewey Cox. It's coming up next right here on C101.